Okay, you're live.
Thank you very much, Rosie. And thank you, Rosie, for navigating these Zoom meetings. You've done an excellent job, as always.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before this board?
Mr. Chairman, it's Millen.
Yes.
I'd like to remind you to announce that we took no action in executive session and therefore no minutes were taken.
Thank you. I always forget that. Thank you very much.
That's why you have me here.
Well, for a lot more. And we can't thank Millen enough for all the excellent work I did. So thank you for keeping me in line. I want to note that the next CCIDA board meeting will also be a Zoom on October 26th, 2021 at 10 a.m. I want to thank all the staff for their excellent work and for our board volunteers for all your work. Much appreciated. We are adjourned, but don't go anywhere because we are going to, Rosie, is it good to move right into our next meeting?
Yes.
Welcome to the Board of Directors meeting of the Chautauqua Region Economic Development Corporation meeting. We are on Zoom. It is October 1st, 2021, and it is approximately 11:30 a.m. We do have quorum, but I will take a roll call, please. Mike Metzger is here. Gary Henry, here. Hans Auer,
Here.
Stephen Thorpe,
Here.
Jay Churchill,
Here.
Dennis Rack,
Here.
Kelly Farrell Du Bois,
Here.
and let me recognize that Pierre Chagnon is here from the county legislature. We have 7 members present, so we do have quorum. I'll entertain a motion to approval of the July 27th, 2021 minutes, which, thanks to Rosie, you have received prior to this meeting.
Motion.
Okay, I've got motion moved by Stephen, seconded by Jay. Any further discussion, comments, changes, revisions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried unanimously. I'd like Carol, if you could please introduce new business A.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Carol, I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to let Chris Canada know that we just started the CREDC meeting, so CRC is to follow.
But it'll be real quick, Chris. It won't be long. Don't worry. It's long.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, very quickly. We have 2 resolutions that have to do with the Office of Community Renewal Grant. So, first of all, the Office of Community Renewal invites applicants to apply for grant incentives. They're federal funds through HUD, and there's an economic development arm. $750,000 is the maximum grant for the Economic Development Fund. So first resolution is Jamestown Container Corporation. Jamestown, the resolution proposes that we facilitate and have an agreement, with the Village of Faulkner. Their project is an estimated cost of $1.6 million. And I'll talk about what it finances a portion of machinery and equipment working capital costs for the project. Chautauqua County Economic Development is assisting in the facilitation of the project through a deferred term loan. The OCR selected the recipient to receive an award in the amount of $560,000. $16,000 is for administrative fees, and we will have a term and deferred forgivable loan in the amount of $100,000 and $400,000, respectively. The OCR base issues the amount on job. There's 75 full-time employees and 21 new, there'll be 21 new employees added, and most of them are available to low and moderate income. And we, of course, do reporting through the year until the grant is closed. But the Village of Faulkner has accepted this grant. So this resolution has to deal with us approving the facility for the Village of Faulkner and also an agreement for Mark to sign an agreement with the Village of Faulkner in respect to this. So are there any questions on this?
Well, I just want to add on the Jamestown Container Project.
Of course.
Dowcraft, as you all know, owned a big chunk of land there right next to Jamestown Container. Very contaminated. For years, they had an LLC that owned it, taking care of it. They sold it to Jamestown Container years ago, and then 3 or 4 years ago, that LLC dried up out of money, and everybody kind of left town. And Jamestown Container was stuck on the hook to remediate it and keep up this. So hopefully, there's a lot of money they're going to spend and dump back in the ground here, and hopefully this money that we got to help them do that with their equipment will be a stake in the ground for them to stay here. This is quite an investment for me on some of that. And again, I call it pouring money down a hole, and that's what they're doing. So hopefully it works.
Yeah, and there's a lot of inside repairs too on their wall that, they couldn't go on without repairing them.
We just put an addition to that they have to make chair boxes first and all these extra money to make sure.
Okay.
We'll add that to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
In desperate times.
Let's run the committee.
Yes. Any further discussion? I'll let Gary move this new business aid, please.
Resolution 10-01-21-09. CREDC to enter into an agreement with the Village of Faulkner and agreements with Jamestown Container Corporation.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion made by Gary, seconded by Hans. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please. Michael Metzger votes aye. Gary Henry.
Aye.
Hans Howard.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Jay Churchill.
Aye.
Dennis Rack.
Aye.
Kelly Farrell Du Bois.
Aye.
Let the record show 7 votes in the affirmative. Motion carried unanimously. Thank you, Carol, for your good work on this project.
Thank you, guys.
And you're up next.
Again,
Do you do all projects starting with Jamestown?
Jamestown, I know.
Yeah.
That's where we are. So the next project is Jamestown Advanced Products. They have also been awarded a grant for OCR for $750,000. They are going to be adding 55 new jobs with a $3 million investment in the town of Elgin. So again, this resolution has to do with approving the agreement with the town of Elgin to facilitate this grant. Now their grant will be used for Jamestown Advanced Products is doing very well. They have created a homestead implements division, and that specializes in manufacturing of high quality 3-point and front end loader for tractor attachments. So their new line is going to include implements specifically engineered for tractor use. And so this grant has to do with machinery and equipment, inventory, and parts that they have to purchase to work toward this investment. Let's see, their grant is for $750 and $16,000 in administrative fees. And this grant will be split 50-50, one in a term loan and the other in a deferred loan. And that's $367. I think. It's $367 each, one in the term and one in the deferred. Any further questions on this? Okay.
Okay. Dennis, could you please move new business B?
Yes, resolution 10-01-21-10, credit to enter into an agreement with Town of Ellicott and agreement with Jamestown Advanced Products Corporation.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion made by Dennis, seconded by Jay. Any further discussion? Again, thank you, Carol, for your hard work on this project.
Welcome. Thank you.
Roll call vote, please. Mike Metzger votes aye. Gary Henry.
Aye.
Hans Howard.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Jay Churchill.
Aye.
Dennis Rack.
Aye.
Kelly Farrell Du Bois.
Aye, sorry.
No. Thank you. Let the record show 7 votes in the affirmative. Motion carried unanimously. Any old business to come before this board?
Mike, I don't know if this falls in old business, but the area around the airport, any development we can encourage with like advanced products is it's great news. I think that we have an airport that's struggling right now to try to even survive with possibly commercial air. I'm on the airport commission, so that's where this is coming from. But I think what would be a tremendous boost to our airport would be if we could channel more industry up into that area. I know that's already been probably discussed over the years, but it's so important now. When we think of it, it makes me feel great that we have just boosted advanced products here because they're on the adjacent property to the airport industrial area. So that's just a comment I wanted to make. If there's any way we can make that happen, I guess yes. Just click your fingers, Mike, to make that happen. Okay.
And Jay, you're exactly right, and it's something we've been working on. We're as I'm sure you know, we're working on kind of a high-level strategitic plan for the airports to kind of think outside of the box, and certainly that's one of the things. And we are, as you know, down Gertz Road there, the sewer stops right at Jamestown Advanced Products, and we're looking at we're getting a quote on what the cost would be to extend the sewer down to that other parcel that's right down the street. And so, that would open that up. We've had a lot of people look at it, but without the sewer on that parcel, just another challenge. But certainly, we'll have some funding if it makes sense to try to extend the sewer down there. So I think you're exactly right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent point, Jay. Any other business to come before this forum? Okay, hearing none. This meeting is adjourned, but don't go anywhere. One more question. I know Pierre wants to get out on the lake, but let's welcome. I would like to welcome you to the Chautauqua County Capital Resource Corporation. This is the Board of Directors meeting. It is via Zoom. It is October 1st, 2021, and it is approximately 11:43 a.m. We do have a quorum, and I want to thank Jeanette for feeding me the agendas. Much appreciated. Roll call, please. Mike Metzger, here. Gary Henry, here. Hans Howard,
Here.
Stephen Thorpe,
Here.
Jay Churchill,
Here.
Dennis Rack,
Here.
Kelly Farrell Du Bois,
Here.
And let the record show that Pierre Shagnon from the Chautauqua County Legislature is here. Approval, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the, wow, it's been since March 23rd, 2021 minutes, which you have received a long time ago. Motion, please. Motion. Thank you, Jay, or Stephen.
I'll second that.
And then Jay will, so motion made by Stephen, seconded by Jay. Any further discussion, review, comments, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried unanimously. We have new business.
Yes, Mike, I'd like to talk about both these for a little bit, and then we'll take them individually, if you don't mind.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Rich.
We've received two applications, one from the Jamestown Center City Development Corporation, which is the ice arena. As you know, the bond is currently backed by the Gemi Foundation. We received another application for the National Comedy Center for refinancing of a bank debt of around $5 million. The Jamestown City is a $25 million refunding of an existing bond. So these bonds will be issued through the Capital Resource Corporation. Today we have with us Chris Canada from Hodgson Russ, who works very closely with George Craig on the bonds. And we have Millen Tyler here today, who is representing the applicant on these bonds. So, small world. And again, just briefly, and then I'm going to let Chris talk, and he'll let Millen talk about what's going on with these. But refunding a $25 million bond for the ice arena and refinancing a bank debt of $5 million for the comedy center. This is on a fast track, and they want to close by the end of October. So, Chris, I'll turn this over to you to talk about the resolutions, and then bring Millen in when you feel appropriate.
Sure. Thanks very much, Rich. So the resolutions before you today, you've seen these before in prior bond transactions to the CRC. It's just approving the holding of a public hearing for each of the transactions. Under the certificate of incorporation, the CRC required to have a meeting, a public hearing after 10 days notice in the newspaper, which we would work with Rich and Rosie and the rest of the staff to get those published. So following the same procedure we have in the past with bond transactions for the CRC, and these resolutions just approve holding the public hearing. The next CRC meeting down the road, which Rich can talk about, will have to be, because they're fast tracked, they want to do these bonds by the end of the month. The next would be a senior resolution or a bond resolution at the subsequent CRC meeting. So happy to answer questions, but that's the 30,000 foot.
Millen, would you like to talk about the projects at all?
Sure. These are refinancings of existing projects. There's really no new project. As Chris mentioned, the Comedy Center was initially constructed with taxable bank debt and guaranteed by Gemi. And the existing bonds were also guaranteed by Gemi. So one of the things that Gemi wants to do financially is stretch these out into a longer term. And we envision having fixed rate bonds so that there's no longer any interest rate risk. This is a great interest rate environment to do that. So Greg Edwards and Gemi are looking just to sort of smooth out those payments and fix them for the long term. Not much else. The quick time frame is because one of the series of the existing bonds on the ice arena comes up for remarketing on November 1st. So rather than remarket it for a very short period of time and delay it to November, we're going to try to compress everything into October, which may mean a very abbreviated schedule and a lot of work for Chris to get all the documents done. But that schedule, quite honestly, as of this morning, depends on how quickly we get a rating letter from S&P. And I think that's it.
That special meeting will be September or October 21st, and Rosie will be pulling the board at what time we need that. We we will need at least 5 of the 9 board members for that special meeting. So,
Okay,
Rich, do you think that'll take more than half an hour?
no,
Okay, so just to give you guys a heads up, I'll be sending you an email. It'll be for the afternoon based on current availability. So if you just want to keep that in mind, I'll try to get that email out to you in the next hour.
thank you, Rosie.
Mike, I just have one quick question, Tom.
Of course.
Are these the same resolution? Because in the agenda, they have the same resolution number. Is that an error or?
No, that's an error. The second one should be 12.
Okay.
thanks, Rosie.
Thanks for identifying that, Hans. And Rosie, will that meeting be available via Zoom?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. Okay, we have to take these individually, but given the timely nature of interest rates, this is very prudent on their behalf. Any other questions of Chris or Noah? All right, I will let Gary, if you could please move new business A.
Resolution 10-01-21-11, public hearing resolution, Jamestown Center City Development Corporation refunding project.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Stephen. Motion made by Gary, seconded by Stephen. Any further discussion? Roll call, please. Mike Metzger votes aye. Gary Henry.
Aye.
Hans Howard.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Jay Churchill.
Aye.
Dennis Rack.
Aye.
Kelly Farrell Du Bois.
Aye.
Thank you. Let the record show 7 votes in the affirmative. Motion carried unanimously. And thank you, Hans, for recognizing the typo here. Could you please move new business B?
Sure. Resolution 10-01-21-12, public hearing resolution, National Comedy Center, Inc., refinancing project.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by Hans, seconded by Jay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please. Mike Metzger votes aye. Gary Henry.
Aye.
Hans Howard.
Aye.
Stephen Thorpe.
Aye.
Jay Churchill.
Aye.
Dennis Rack.
Aye.
Kelly Farrell Du Bois.
Aye.
Let the record show 7 votes in the affirmative. Motion carried unanimously. Are there any other resolutions to come before this board?
We have none, Mike.
Thank you, Rich, and I want to thank Chris and Millen for the resolutions regarding the bond and loan financing. Is there any other business?
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
Greg Peterson, I just want to tell you that I have been enlightened, informed, and entertained from Ripley, New York to the west side of Cleveland, Ohio, and I want to applaud everybody who's on this Zoom call.
How did the Love's truck stop look, Greg?
It was fabulous.
Is it going up quick?
Going up fine, man. Everything's good. I'm out here on the ground, like you guys are assuming I'm on the ground.
Well, thanks for being the reporter on the ground and safe travels. Yep. I also want to special thanks to Pierre Chagnon for attending and contributing to our meetings. It's much appreciated. And hopefully we'll shortly get from the legislature a board member.
New Year is coming.
Okay, thank you, Pierre. I'd like to, this meeting is adjourned. Any other, is there any other?
Another
Stopped.
Yep, the recording is stopped.